Hey, before we start today, I need to say something, and I'm not going to apologize for saying it.
Oh, I like where this is going.
Because today's topic is something I have personally struggled with for years, and I think most of our listeners, especially those learning English, struggle with it every single day.
And it shows up in the most unexpected places, in how we start sentences, in how we ask for things, in how we walk into a room.
And once you start noticing it, you cannot stop seeing it everywhere.
I'm Jake.
And I'm Anna. Welcome back to Speak First English, where we speak first and think second.
Anna, I want to start with a quick test for our listeners. Think about the last time you said sorry in English. When was it?
I'll go first. This morning, I sent a voice message to a friend and started it with, "Sorry to bother you, but..."
Was it actually a bother?
No, it was a completely normal message between friends.
And was there anything to be sorry about?
Absolutely nothing.
And that right there is exactly what we're talking about today.
Today's topic, stop apologizing for everything.
And let's be very clear from the start. We are not saying never apologize. Apologies are important. When you make a genuine mistake, when you hurt someone, when you're truly in the wrong, apologizing is a powerful and necessary thing.
What we're talking about is something different, the automatic, reflexive, unnecessary apology, the sorry that comes out before you've even thought about whether you did anything wrong.
The sorry that fills silence, the sorry that comes before a question, the sorry that shrinks you before you've even started.
Sorry, can I ask a question? Sorry, I might be wrong, but sorry, excuse me, sorry.
And for English learners, this pattern is even more common because you add a second layer of apology, not just for what you're saying, but how you're saying it.
Sorry, my English is not very good. Sorry if I don't understand. Sorry for my mistakes.
And every one of those apologies costs something. It costs your authority. It costs your presence. It costs the listener's confidence in you before you've said a single real thing.
Today we talk about why we do it, what it costs, and how to stop. Gently, gradually, but permanently.
Please share this episode with someone who apologizes too much. You know exactly who that is. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's someone you love.
Let's get into it.
Jake, let's start with a real question. Why do we apologize when we haven't done anything wrong? What is happening psychologically?
It's a fascinating question, and the answer is excessive apologizing is almost never about the other person. It's about ourselves. It's a way of making ourselves smaller before someone else can.
Making ourselves smaller?
Yes. Think of it this way. When you say, "Sorry to bother you," before asking a question, you're actually saying, "I'm not sure I deserve your attention. I'm preemptively making myself less important so you can't reject me."
So the apology is protective armor. You apologize first so that rejection hurts less.
Exactly. But here's the irony. The armor creates the very problem it's trying to avoid. When you constantly apologize, people don't think less of you. They actually start to take you less seriously.
Because confidence is contagious, and so is its absence.
Think of it like a chair at a table. Imagine you walk into a meeting room, and before you sit down, you say, "Sorry, is it okay if I sit here? Sorry to take up space. Sorry for being here."
Nobody would ever say that literally.
No, but in conversation, in English, people say the equivalent of that every single day. They apologize for their presence before they've contributed anything.
Versus walking in, choosing a seat, sitting down, and contributing.
The chair was available. You had every right to sit. You don't need to apologize for existing in the space.
Own the chair.
Own the chair. That's the whole episode. Jake, I know you have a story about this, a very specific one.
I do, and it still makes me cringe a little because of how clearly I can see the pattern now.
Those are always the best stories.
So I was in a work meeting, international team. English was the working language, and I had an idea. A genuinely good idea. I knew it was good. I had thought about it carefully.
Okay.
So I said, and I remembered this almost word for word, "Sorry, I don't know if this makes sense, and sorry if it's already been discussed, but I was just thinking, and maybe I'm wrong, but could we possibly consider..."
How many sorries was that?
2 sorries, 3 hedges, and then the idea, which was good.
What happened?
Someone across the table said, "That's interesting," in a tone that clearly meant, "That's not interesting," and moved on, and my idea was gone.
And was the idea actually interesting?
My manager came to me after the meeting and said, "That was a good thought. You should have pushed it more." And I thought, I barely got it into the room. I apologized it out of existence before it even arrived.
The apologies killed the idea before anyone could hear it.
The apologies were the problem, not the idea, not my English, not my accent. The apologetic wrapping around it made it seem like I didn't believe in it myself.
And if you don't believe in your own idea, why would anyone else?
Exactly. So I made a rule. Before I speak in any meeting, I say the idea without preamble. No sorry, no hedge, just the idea. Clear, direct, mine.
And what changed?
People listened differently. The same ideas, presented without apology, landed differently because the delivery told them, this matters. This is worth your attention.
The idea didn't change, the packaging did. And the packaging changed everything. Let's get into our tips. Tip number 1, and this one alone will change how people hear you immediately. Tip 1, use the sorry swap.
Sorry swap. Simple idea?
Very simple. Instead of apologizing, replace the sorry with something that moves the conversation forward without shrinking yourself.
So you're not removing the politeness, you're removing the self-diminishment.
Exactly. The goal is not to be rude. The goal is to be direct without being unkind. Let's go through the most common sorry phrases and their swaps.
Sorry to bother you, swap to, do you have a moment?
Sorry, I might be wrong, swap to, I think, or in my view.
Sorry, can I ask a question, swap to, I have a question.
Sorry for my English, swap to, let me explain what I mean. Or simply, nothing. Start with the idea.
Sorry to interrupt, swap to, can I add something here?
Sorry if this doesn't make sense, swap to, let me know if you'd like me to clarify.
Do you notice what's different? The swap versions are equally polite, but they come from a place of equal footing, not from a place of preemptive smallness.
You're not less respectful, you're just present, taking up your rightful space in the conversation.
Do you have a moment? Versus sorry to bother you. One is a question, the other is an apology for existing. Use the question.
The sorry swap. Replace the apology with directness. Keep the warmth. Remove the shrinking.
Tip number 2, and this one is about awareness before change, because you cannot change what you haven't seen. Tip 2, do the apology audit.
The apology audit. What does that look like?
For one day, just one, count your sorry moments. Every time you say sorry or something that functions as sorry, even silently, even in a message, notice it.
Not to judge yourself, not to feel bad, just to see the pattern clearly.
Because most people have no idea how often they apologize. It's completely unconscious, automatic, like breathing.
I did this exercise about a year ago. I counted 11 unnecessary apologies in one day. 11 before lunchtime.
11 before lunch.
I apologized to a colleague for needing a printer. I apologized for having a preference about where to sit. I apologized for not knowing the answer to something instantly.
All 3 of those are perfectly normal human things.
Completely normal, but I had trained myself over years to apologize for my own normalness, as if needing things, having preferences, and not knowing everything instantly were somehow impositions on other people.
And here's the thing, the apology audit doesn't require you to change anything yet. Just see it.
Because awareness is the first shift. When you start seeing the apologies, really seeing them, you naturally start to pause before you say them. And in that pause, you choose.
Not habit, choice.
The apology audit. One day, count them, see the pattern, and watch what happens next. Tip number 3. And this one is specifically for English learners because we have a particular version of this problem that native speakers don't have. Tip 3. Escape the English apology trap.
The English apology trap. Tell us.
The English apology trap is when you apologize not just for what you're saying, but for the language itself, for your accent, for your grammar, for the fact that you're speaking in your second, third, or fourth language.
Sorry, my English is not very good. Sorry if I don't express this well. Sorry for my pronunciation.
And here's what those apologies do. They lower the listener's expectations before you've said anything. They signal, please judge me gently. And sometimes people do judge gently, but sometimes they just hear, this person is not confident in what they're saying.
And confidence in communication matters as much as correctness.
Think about it this way. You are speaking English right now in a language that is not your first. That is already extraordinary. You're doing something that millions of people wish they could do.
And the first thing you say is sorry for it?
That's the trap. You apologize for your superpower.
So what do we do instead?
You say nothing about your English. You just speak. And if there's a moment of confusion, not because of your English, but because of the complexity of what you're saying, you say, let me clarify. Or, what I mean is...
Not sorry, clarify.
Clarify is active. Sorry is passive. Clarify says, I'm here, I'm capable, and I want to communicate well. Sorry says, I'm already not good enough.
And one more thing. Your accent is not a problem. Your accent is identity. It tells the story of who you are and where you come from.
Nobody apologizes for having a French accent. Nobody apologizes for having a Japanese accent. The accent is part of the voice, and the voice is part of the person.
Stop apologizing for the voice. Start using it.
The English apology trap. Stop apologizing for speaking English. You earned that right. Every word you know in this language, you worked for it.
Tip number 4. And this one is about what happens physically in the moment before the sorry comes out. Tip 4, use the pause replacement.
Because the sorry is often a filler, a reflex, something that fills the space while you gather your thoughts.
Like or but more self-diminishing.
Exactly. People say sorry because they don't know what to say yet, and sorry fills the silence. It's automatic. It buys time.
And the replacement is a pause, a real one, without filling it.
We talked about the power pause in a previous episode, and it works here too. Instead of, sorry, I'm just thinking, you simply pause. You breathe, you gather, and then you speak.
Because a pause, a genuine, unhurried pause, sounds like confidence. It sounds like someone who chooses their words carefully.
And a sorry in that same space sounds like someone who doesn't trust themselves to take up time. The irony is, the pause takes the same amount of time as the sorry, but it is perceived completely differently.
Try it. Right now. Pause for 2 seconds. Say nothing. Then continue.
That pause, that was not weakness. That was presence.
And one more replacement. Instead of sorry as a sentence opener, start with a person's name. Jake, can I add something here? Instead of, sorry, Jake, can I?
The name is warmer and more direct than the apology. It creates connection instead of distance.
The pause replacement. Let silence do what sorry was pretending to do. Pause, breathe, then speak. The pause sounds like confidence. The sorry sounds like doubt.
And our final tip. Tip 5. And this one is bigger than language. It's about something fundamental to how you show up in English, in life, in every room you walk into. Tip 5. Own your space.
Own your space. We've heard this phrase before in the episode. Let's unpack it.
Owning your space means accepting that you have a right to be here, in this conversation, in this meeting, in this relationship, in this English-speaking world.
You don't need to earn it with an apology. You don't need to minimize yourself before someone else does. You are already allowed to be here.
And this is not arrogance. Arrogance is believing you deserve more than others. Owning your space is believing you deserve the same as others. Equal, present, real.
For English learners, owning your space looks like this. You walk into an English conversation and you assume you belong there, not because your grammar is perfect, not because your accent is native, but because you have something to contribute.
You have a perspective. You have an experience. You have ideas and feelings and stories that exist only in you. And those things, those specifically yours things, are worth saying in imperfect English, with an accent, with the occasional wrong word.
Because the world does not need more perfect silence. The world needs your voice, specifically your voice.
Think of it like this. Imagine a table, a big table with many people around it. Every person at that table has a chair. Every chair is already theirs. They don't need to ask permission. They don't need to apologize for sitting.
You have a chair at that table. It was there before you arrived. It has your name on it.
And every time you say sorry for your English, for your presence, for your needs, you're pushing the chair slightly further from the table, making yourself slightly less present, slightly less there.
Stop pushing the chair away.
Pull it closer, sit fully in it, and speak from there.
Own your space. You already have permission. You always did. Gianna, today we used some really important words. Words about presence, communication, and how we carry ourselves in conversation. Let's look at them together.
Yes, our word tour. These words will help you talk about confidence, communication, and self-expression in real English conversations.
Gianna, first word, apologize or apology.
To apologize means to say sorry, to express that you regret something. An apology is that expression of regret. Apologize when you've genuinely made a mistake, not as a reflex. Or, there's a difference between a sincere apology and a habit of apologizing.
Next, assertive.
Assertive means expressing your thoughts, needs, or opinions confidently and directly, without being aggressive or passive. Being assertive is not being rude, it's being clear. Or, I'm practicing being more assertive in English conversations.
Then, direct.
Direct means saying exactly what you mean, without hiding, hedging, or softening unnecessarily. A direct answer is often kinder than a vague one. Or, I want to be more direct when I speak, not harsh, just clear.
We also used clarify.
Clarify means to make something clearer, easier to understand, when there's confusion or misunderstanding. Instead of apologizing for your English, clarify your meaning. Or, could you clarify what you mean by that? I want to make sure I understand.
And presence.
Presence means being fully and powerfully there, in a way that others notice and feel. It's the quality of being real, grounded, and engaged. She walked into the room with such quiet presence. Or, good English is not about perfection, it's about presence.
And one more, boundary.
A boundary is a limit you set about how you want to be treated, or what you will and won't accept. Setting a personal boundary about apologizing means deciding, I will only apologize when I have genuinely done something wrong. Or, saying no to unnecessary apologies is a kind of boundary for yourself.
Your Speaking Gym challenge today. In your next English conversation, catch yourself before one sorry, just one. Replace it with a direct phrase, one time. That's the rep.
And then write in the comments what you replaced it with. We want to know. Before we finish, 4 steps, starting today.
Step 1. For the next 24 hours, do the apology audit. Count your unnecessary sorries. Don't judge them, just see them. Awareness is everything.
Step 2. Memorize 2 sorry swaps. Write them on your phone. Do you have a moment instead of sorry to bother you? I think instead of sorry I might be wrong, but commit them to memory.
Step 3. The next time you want to apologize for your English, say nothing. Just start with the idea. Trust your voice. The listener is there to hear your ideas, not to grade your grammar.
And step 4. Pull your chair closer to the table. In your next English interaction, whatever it is, assume you belong there, because you do, completely, unconditionally.
Quick recap of our 5 tips.
Tip 1. The sorry swap. Replace the apology with a direct, warm alternative. Same politeness, no self-diminishment.
Tip 2. The apology audit. Count your unnecessary sorries for one day. See the pattern. That's when change becomes possible.
Tip 3. The English apology trap. Stop apologizing for your language. You earned every word of it. Your accent is your identity. Start speaking from it, not apologizing for it.
Tip 4. The pause replacement. Let silence do what sorry was pretending to do. Pause, breathe, then speak. The pause sounds like confidence. The sorry sounds like doubt.
And tip 5. Own your space. Pull the chair closer to the table. You have a seat at the table. You always did. Sit fully in it and speak from there.
And our question for today, we really want to hear your answer.
What is one thing you apologize for, in English, that you know you don't actually need to apologize for?
Just one. Write it in the comments. Name it, because naming it is the first step to stopping it.
And for everyone who wrote it, congratulations. You just made yourself a little more present, a little more real, a little more there.
That was not nothing. That was everything.
If this episode helped you today, please share it. Send it to someone who starts every English sentence with sorry, someone who apologizes before they ask for the simplest thing.
Tell them their voice is worth saying without the sorry in front of it.
You showed up today, you listened, you chose this.
And you didn't apologize for it.
Good. Keep going.
This was Speak First English.
Until next time, speak first, think second, and please stop apologizing for taking up space. The space is yours. Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.